1019 The End. It's the Chunga Show.
1019 The End. I've got here with me Ghost Investigators and a Red Sox fan. Barbara, you're not a baseball fan, are you? Do you follow baseball at all?
Not at all.
You're not a baseball person at all. Well, we have Brendan Cook here, who is a Red Sox fan, and I would like to congratulate you on your win last night.
Well, thank you.
My friend.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
This is a time-honored tradition that Brendan and I have, which is watch me win all through the regular season and then watch Brendan's team kill my team in the postseason.
Well,
and this has been going on now for 4 or 5 years.
good stuff. I'm sorry.
So, no, it's all right. It's you know what? Thank you guys, for coming in again. It's always a pleasure. It's an honor to have you guys in here.
No, we
it's
enjoy.
a pleasure being here.
Yep.
We have this is a Chunga Show tradition that we have done now for 6 years, something like
Since
that.
the beginning of time.
It's been a long time.
Wow.
It's been a long time. I actually went back and kind of went through some show notes, and we go back, I think, about 6 years, 5 or 6 years. It's crazy how far back.
It's probably over that, actually.
Is that right?
I think, yeah.
I don't keep my stuff around for that long, but it's...
how many CDs and DVDs, CDs do you have?
That might be the best way to do it, is for me to go find all the discs
that we have. Yeah. We have investigated mausoleums. We've investigated old insane asylums. We've investigated morgues. We've investigated haunted train yards. You name it, we've kind of been there. Now, Barbara was kind of holding my feet to the fire off the air here, Brendan.
Uh-oh.
Because we want to take some listeners again.
Oh, Barb, what'd you do?
I think these guys are less than thrilled to be doing this because you guys are a very closed operation, aren't you?
Yeah, well, every once in a while it's great to bring other people out, though, and just kind of show them what we do. People always have questions about it and want to know how to do it, and it's just generally they're interested in it. So.
And so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get us into the haunted old mill.
No,
that's what I'm going to try and do.
I've been waiting for years.
I know. I was getting grilled off the air, Brendan. It was bad.
So is this
the only thing she was missing was the light shining right in my face.
So this is the compromise then. You get us into the mill, and
I'll get you guys into the mill, and we'll see. But I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, and I'm going to be waiting in the car.
Now, is this part of the contest?
Well, if I can get us in, that will be the contest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we'll take our winners, and we'll take you into the haunted old mill. Court, you're going to have to help me with this, my man.
Now, Chunga, I told you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're scared about it, you can sit out in the car and narrate.
Well, I have a very bad, crazy history with that building.
I know, and I understand that, and I respect that. But you don't have to go in.
It is without a doubt the most haunted place I've ever been in my life. And I've been in some haunted places.
I'll go in.
And it's not good haunted.
I understand
I've been through the Queen Mary. You step one foot on the Queen Mary, and there's like thousands of entities on that thing. It's crazy how haunted the Queen Mary is. And I'll go in the Queen Mary, no problem.
That's
the haunted old mill, seriously, it's like Mr. T. Remember when they used to make Mr. T drink the Happy Milk, before they got him on an airplane on the A-Team? That's what you're going to have to do with me in the haunted old mill.
Well, you can just sit outside or stand outside in the perimeter of the fence.
No. He's going in.
Brendan and I are usually the guys that team up. Barbara tends to go off on her own. She's kind of the mystical shaman in the group that kind of wanders around. It's fun to watch. It is very cool to watch. I get to go with the skeptic, who just kind of kicks stuff over and is like,
hey, whatever. No.
Yeah. And that's what you guys do in the Ghost Investigator Society. You each are ghost investigators for entirely different reasons, are you not?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty diverse, as far as why we're into it. Ultimately, it's the same thing. There's something unknown out there that we all want to... we want to find out more about.
Yeah, we no doubt have some people who have not heard you guys on the show before, even though you guys have done this. You guys are old pros at this.
I don't know about that. But.
And Brendan, you are somewhat. I don't know. I don't want to call you a skeptic, but you're almost like an agnostic, where you just don't really know. You have not seen anything that you haven't been able to You've seen a couple of things that you haven't been able to disprove, but whenever something odd happens, you're the first guy to try and find a rational explanation for it.
Right. It's
in those occasions where he can't. I'd like him to try to explain what it is.
Oh, I know you'd like me to, but no.
And you can't.
I know. I mean, there's been a few times I've seen things that, I'm not sure how to rationalize it, but I do everything in my power to do it.
When we first started going with you guys, I was very much like you, Brendan, where I wanted to have an open mind. I wanted to see what I could see and then make up my own mind after that and see if I couldn't disprove a lot of this kind of stuff. Having worked as a bouncer, for lack of a better term, at the Haunted Old Mill in the days when it was open, I had all kinds of very bizarre, very strange, ultra negative, spooky things happen to me while I was in there. So I wanted to kind of go with you guys and see if I couldn't get a better understanding of this kind of thing. And so I think that's why I tend to pair up with you the most, Brendan, when we go do this stuff.
You know, and I've definitely noticed, especially the last few years where we've been taking you out, that, you've changed. I mean, the way
the weirdness has changed me, for lack of a better term. I mean, we've seen some very bizarre things. I saw Brendan get hit in the head with a light.
Yeah.
We watched it on video. Barbara and I were standing there watching. The light moved back on its own, swung forward, and hit Brendan in the head right in the head. The light there was nothing. He thought it was a bat.
Yeah, well,
there's no bat in my night vision camera that showed this. We saw Court standing on the stage at the Union Station in Ogden. Standing up on the stage, saw a red orb in my night vision camera move right through him, and when it did, Court stopped dead in his tracks, even though he couldn't see anything.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes back to what you were saying. There's things that you just can't explain them rationally, but I'd just rather do it that way. I mean, I don't care.
Is that because you just can't wrap your brain around it?
Yeah, pretty much.
The things that I enjoy is seeing like materialization take place right before your eyes of a physical object just appearing.
Now, see, I haven't really seen any of that, but we have had some very, very bizarre things happen. I've had, last year was probably our most active year when we went to This Is the Place Monument.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there were some neat things that took place.
I had a lady, I got my first EVP.
She responded
from a woman that we considered, we called her Violet, who was one of Heber C. Kimball's multiple wives, who was kind of a taskmaster and a disciplinarian and not a real pleasant woman. And yelled,
she just kind of stern,
yelled in my ear, and one of our winners heard it, was standing right next to me. Yeah. However, it didn't show up on camera, but you can see our winner running like hell out of the house.
Didn't you think it was me talking when you?
I thought, I had heard something before that sounded very similar, but it was faint, and I just thought it was you until it was right in my ear. And there was 3 of us standing there alone in the house. Turn around, there's nothing, and that's when it was like Scooby-Doo. When you see Velma and Fred and everybody just cruising out of the house. So ghost investigations you guys have been doing. We're talking to the Ghost Investigator Society, Brendan Cook, Barbara Macbeth, who have been here forever, if you're just checking in with us. And you guys have been doing this for how many years?
Oh, good God. Barbara, obviously, Barbara's been doing it a lot longer than I have.
with your husband?
Well, before I even met him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, obviously, I'm a lot younger than she is, but I think
slightly younger,
Brendan.
A lot younger.
Sorry, I'm gonna get smacked on the way home now.
Exactly.
I'm the age of his grandma.
But actually, the actual group, the GIS, I think we put up our site in September of '98. So 10 years.
All right. Now the offer still stands. If I get you guys into the Haunted Old Mill,
you get the shirt.
Yep,
you're in.
And does that include me?
Well, of course, you're part of the team.
So we both get in. We both are official, real,
now, are
true
you both
members.
Extra large?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Listen, that's all right. We're corn-fed Utah boys.
Extra large shirts.
Extra large.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll get you the.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll get you the shirt, the hat, the tattoo, all of it.
Yeah, we have to get a tattoo.
Oh yeah,
sweet.
No, just one member has the tattoo.
Now we have these things called EVPs, electro voice phenomenon, and we have movies that have been made about this. Mm-hmm. And what this is, there's the explain EVPs to people who don't know what they are.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it. You're so well. No.
Well, I could do it if you want me to.
No,
because I'm going to earn my shirt.
Basically, EVP is electronic voice phenomena. It is anomalous voices that appear on some kind of recording equipment, tape, digital recordings. Basically, it's things you don't hear at the time. And then you go back, listen to the investigation, and there's these voices there. Nobody heard them. A lot of times, with us especially, it seems to be children. And we never allow children.
You don't know if it's children, but it sounds
like children. Exactly. And we never, ever allow anyone under 18 to go with us on investigation. And
for that very reason, it's harder to control kids.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times we're out past curfew, that kind of thing. We just we can't be responsible for that. But when you go back and listen to the recording that you just made, and suddenly you hear, a 5-6-year-old sounding child, there's something just not right. Especially in places that we go, like mausoleums, and that there's no kids. You're not going to have a 5 or 6-year-old in there.
That's right.
Now, typically these aren't long recordings. Like you're not going to hear somebody reading from a book.
No. Only when you get what's called a radio jump is when you'll get, and I mean that's obviously not EVP. It's just
and you can tell that's radio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's not what this is. Now, you guys have recorded literally thousands of these things. We've been out on several investigations over the past couple of years and have recorded nothing until I was lucky enough to get one last year, which was very, very cool for me.
And I did actually bring that just for you.
Oh, you did,
today,
so that you can hear that. Cool.
Yeah.
So I want to play one right now so that people will understand, and we'll play these throughout the morning. And you can hear an actual ghost voice.
Right.
Now, what do you think this is, since you're the skeptic? You don't know what this is.
Yeah. This is one of those rationalization things. I definitely know it's not radio jump like we talked about. I've heard, maybe you're picking up baby monitors, that kind of thing. I know it's not that. Honestly, I don't know.
You can't figure it out.
And a lot of times they'll interact with what we are saying or doing.
And that's where I really have a problem, because when it's interacting with something you've said or something you're doing, and then you start getting contemporary information out of it, where, what was the one thing I believe Roger was looking for bug spray and a drink, and he didn't know where he had sat down in the cemetery, and all of a sudden you hear on the tape, it's an old man saying, "Roger, back near the car." So, I mean, contemporary information like that.
And was it back near the car?
Yeah, it was sitting on the bumper.
It was all right there. Now, Barbara, you are more of the mystic. You think it's it's ghosts.
Yes, I do.
And they're communicating. Who of the group gets the most reaction on the EVPs? Do you guys have a tally?
No, I think it's pretty well equal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's not a contest, but every one of us.
We should make it into one.
I would think that just having been on these, though, Barbara has a much different relationship with these ghosts than anybody else on the teams that you guys run in, because she often goes alone, and she has a very motherly, very nurturing, very kind and soft quality to her when she's talking to these ghosts. Now, when you guys do these investigations, give us a rundown of what an investigation is like when you go in to try and record these things.
Right. Basically, what we'll do is we'll first interview the people that that have called us to do the investigation, make sure it's worth doing it. Once we figure out it is, we'll go to the house, wherever it is, and, kind of do a run through of the building, make sure everything's where it should be, no exposed wires, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll actually set up all our equipment. We use a variety of different things. I actually use a condenser mic with a mixing board set up, fed straight into a notebook computer. And that's pretty much just a stationary thing. I'll leave that in the room. Everybody else has, handheld digital recorders, that kind of thing, walk around. Also night vision, all sorts of different things. There's actually stuff coming out right now about equipment that you really shouldn't use that people have been using for quite a while.
Really? That can mislead you.
Exactly. One of the big things right now is something called a K2 meter.
K2 meter.
Yeah, it's kind of like an EMF detector, but it's I'd call it flimsy.
And it can feed off on the wrong, like, static energy.
And not only that,
like
it's easily manipulated. You can actually make it look like it's doing something when it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's kind of something that's been debunked now. A lot of people that used to use it, we even used to use it, just don't do it anymore.
There's a popular show on the Travel Channel, Ghost Hunters. And it's a team of Brits that go out and they have all kinds of weird things happen, possessions and stuff flying through the air. And from my experience, having gone on one of these things, it looks like the biggest crock of hooey I've ever seen in my life.
That's one reason I don't like dealing with a lot of media, because they will turn just the smallest thing into, I mean, they can take things out of context.
Right.
Just for the dramatization of their program.
Right.
And
which does not happen on this show.
No, there's no purpose in doing that other than, just to titillate an audience. And it's,
and that's
most of the time
it's
not honest and it's not truthful.
Now, when you do go on these, they're actually quite tedious, aren't they?
They're really boring.
Well,
just a ghost investigation can be very boring.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time,
and a lot of times you don't realize things are going on until you review your data that you've recorded and find the voices or things on the video that you didn't see at the time that you weren't watching.
Right. Let's play an EVP for people.
All right.
This is track number 1 on this CD. Brendan, would you like to set this up for us?
All right. Yeah. Basically, what this is it was recorded in a mausoleum, and I'm kind of by myself at this point, and you're going to hear me say, "Okay, never mind," because I thought I heard somebody behind me, and there was no one there. And you hear me say that, I start kind of doing a little nervous chuckle thing, and then you hear a child. It sounds like he says, "Run, run."
And this is in a mausoleum, dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah, in the basement. Actually, you've been in that mausoleum. It's
a lot.
Basement area, yeah.
It's we've had some very bizarre things happen in that basement area.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. Never mind.
And you don't know if that's an adult, a child. It's just the way they happen to be manipulating the energy around you.
That's kind of what I think. I mean, to me, it does sound like a child, but if it is, who knows? I think the only time that I would think we've actually recorded a child's voice is we were doing a funeral director's home, and I think we asked, "How old are you?" And the kid said, "I'm 3." And he easily sounded
his
like
name was Gabe.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the same one.
You don't know if that was the same one?
Yeah, either way.
Brendan actually saw a ghost.
Right, that's right.
The little boy, and his head was on backwards and was running down the hall while staring at Brendan.
Kids will do that.
Oh, man. Court, I'm interested to get your take on this because you have gone on these investigations with us.
Yeah.
You've taken part in these, and you've had some very bizarre things happen to you. You're a religious man.
Yeah. What
do you think?
Well, for example, the incident you talked about in the Union Station up in Ogden, that, and I'm trying, and maybe I'm like Brendan on this in the sense where I'm trying to figure out, did I get creeped out just because of what the subject matter, and that's what creeped me out?
Right.
But then to come to find out that you actually saw an orb.
I had evidence of it.
And I'm walking across this stage, and I reach a certain point, and it was almost as if something went through my body, and it was the most disturbing feeling. Like I was about ready to faint, is almost what I felt like I was going to do. And then instantly it was gone, but I felt like I just immediately had to leave wherever I was.
You came over to me. I was clear across the room.
Yeah.
Came over to me and said, "You know what? I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I got to go."
And then it was right after that where some things happened off the stage to Barb's husband, where a bathroom door was kind of slammed in
almost
his face.
Broke his wrist. I remember that. That was crazy. And that horrible smell.
And so, I don't know. Like I said, I still, there's this part of me, the skeptic wants to be like, it was just me getting creeped out, and the little orb was just chance.
Well, you got to understand that I'd been following this thing though.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing their own thing. Barbara and Brendan, I don't know where you were at this point, but I was by myself. Right. It was just pitch black, and you guys do things in the pitch black not because ghosts are more present in the dark, but simply because it's easier to use the technology to see.
Exactly.
Them, right?
Using the night vision and all that is obviously it's night vision. So yeah.
But I saw this thing come up the stairwell at the back of the stage. There are dressing rooms behind the stage where you guys were at, bathrooms and such, and there's a doorway that leads upstairs onto the stage from backstage. Mm-hmm. And we talk to the ghosts when we're there. We invite the ghosts to come out and talk to us and all kinds of, to the layman, to somebody who hasn't done this before, it's pretty kooky. It was way kooky the first year I did it, and it's you have to allow yourself to a certain level of vulnerability to even be able to do this, because you're talking to nothing.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny. I was going through listening to some of our old EVPs, trying to figure out what to use for the show, and there was this one clip. It just cracked me. I didn't even hear the EVP. It just the context of it that we were talking about was hilarious. It was me and one of our members named Barry talking, and Barry, goes to me and says, "Who's Roger talking to?" Because you can hear Roger in the background, and I'm like, I don't know. Somebody with him, and Barry's like, "Well, yeah, I guess he could be talking to nobody and have somebody with them." So
right,
yeah,
it's bizarre to walk around. But as I'm doing this, I'm looking at this little bouncy red ball of light, and it's watching me watch it. And so it kept kind of hiding behind curtains and kind of moving around, and it'd go up into the rafters. And I'm trying to talk to anybody around me. I'm like, look, I've got these. There's nobody around me. I'm feeling like there's somebody breathing down my neck. There's nobody there. And as I'm watching this, I see Court, and Court's doing the thing. He's talking. Would you like to come out and talk to us? And he's got his little handheld recorder. Court can't see. He's in pitch black darkness. The only way I can even see my hand in front of my face is with my night vision camera. And the thing's kind of hopping around, and it would move towards me and move back. And then it kind of stopped and inched its way very carefully over to Court, and then went right through him. And then when it did that, Court stopped dead in his tracks and didn't move for like 30 seconds. He just stood there.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this on my video. I'm like, and then I can't move because I'm absolutely horrified watching this on the camera.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Court's like, man, I got to get out of here. Yeah. There's something not right. There's something wrong.
I went and bought some candy out of the candy machine.
He did. He left.
Needed a little sugar rush.
And then I had to go out. I had to go out and say, are you all right? Yeah. Are you okay? I got to show you this. He's like, in a minute, dude, in a minute. So we've had some very fun things happen. And what I would like to do, because I've basically volunteered you guys for another contest.
I understand that.
I'm dead. I'm just dead. I'm the new ghost. We're going to talk about how people can perform their own ghost investigations. Maybe take some calls from people if that's okay with you guys. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have some more EVPs for you guys to see. Okay. It's all on the way.
The Chunga Show. Morning 6 to 10. Only on 101.9. The End. The End. It's the Chunga Show.
Ghost Investigator Society is here with us. Barbara Macbeth, Brendan Cook, the legendary Ghost Investigator Society. You guys have been all over national radio. You've been on multiple shows around the country because you guys are that good.
I don't know about that.
I know that you guys would never actually say that, but that's the truth because you guys have a different approach to this than most. Whoops, sorry about that, Barbara.
I understand that there's a lot of groups that are starting to copy us, our style.
Well, I would almost hope that they would.
I would too,
because you're the legit way to do this.
See, and I don't have a problem with. I mean, it's so weird that there are so many groups now in Utah. I mean, there are. I could easily count 30.
30 groups.
And I've kind of been doing some research lately, and there's easily 30.
And you guys are the big dogs because you're nonprofit. You don't sell ownership into your thing. You don't have to pay to become a member. In fact, you don't even want people to become members.
No. And actually, what's funny is we've got criticism because of that too. And a lot of it is from other groups that are out there. They think, well, it's a closed society, so they got to be hiding something. Mm-hmm. That's why they do that.
Right.
And Yeah, ultimately it isn't. When we first started, we did allow other people to come in, and we quickly realized that was not the way to run
for
this.
us.
Yeah,
it took about 10 minutes to realize that's not the path to go. So,
well, let's go to the phones here, if that's okay,
yeah,
and answer some questions. If you have any questions about ghosts, the afterlife, what it's like to do an investigation, that kind of stuff, give us a call right now, 470-570-670-1019, and we'll get you on the air here. Hello, 1019 The End. Who's this?
Hey, this is Matt.
Matt, what's your question for the ghost investigators?
My question is, have they ever been to the Joseph Smith building?
The Joseph Smith, what used to be the Hotel Utah?
Hotel Utah?
The Hotel Utah, yeah.
No, huh?
I have been there, but not for an investigation.
I used to work there, the graveyard shift from 10 to 2, cleaning the mezzanine section, vacuuming and cleaning the elevator tracks and everything. And pretty freaky stuff.
Weird stuff happening in there.
Weird stuff.
So you're saying this is a place we should try and get into then?
I really think so.
Okay.
I was cleaning out the tracks of the elevator and heard a voice behind me. It's late at night, and said, "You missed the spot."
You missed the spot.
All right.
Freaked me out. I ran into that elevator, pushed the down button.
All right.
Level.
All right, dude. Thank you very much.
I think that thing's almost 100 years old.
It's very old.
So,
And the thing is, we've been notified by a lot of the cleaning staffs of locations and security staffs of locations because at that time it's usually quiet. The hubbub noise of the day is not there. And they are a lot of times the ones that notice
That
activity.
contact us and, yeah.
Okay. If you think there's a ghost in your place of business or in your house, what do you do?
Well, you try and find out information from it. See if you can get information.
Don't be afraid of it.
Don't be afraid of it. Talk to it, record, allow time for it to respond when you ask questions. Make sure it's quiet so that you don't pick up background noise. But a lot of times people will name the ghost that's associated, in the location, give it a name. A lot of people will set out a dinner plate, at the table at dinner time, even though there's
Wow.
But ultimately anybody can do this. You can definitely, for some reason, our website's down right now, but you can go to our website. It'll
ghostpix.com.
Yeah.
Pix, P-I-X.
Pix.com. You can go there. It gives you instructions on how to do this yourself. And that's one of the things we really want to stress to people is there's nothing different about us. We're
it's
not
trial
special.
And error for you guys.
We don't have any certification because there is no such thing. Anybody that comes in and says, well, hey, I'm an expert, you got to let me do this for you.
You're telling me that if Dan Aykroyd were to issue your certificate, you wouldn't proudly display that in your front room?
Oh, absolutely. I'll proudly display it.
All right, okay.
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay, all right.
I'm not going to say that makes me anything.
Let's take another call here. Hello, 1019 The End. Who's this?
This is Gigi.
Jiggy?
Yeah.
Hi, Jiggy. What's your question for the ghost investigators?
Well, I was just curious if they had ever been. There's a building downtown. It's called the McIntyre Building.
The McIntyre Building?
Yeah, the McIntyre Building. I went there the other day just because I had to drop something off, and it is like one of the creepiest places I've ever been.
But
I wondered if they had ever been in there and investigated that place.
No.
I have a really strange feeling about it.
All right, we'll check it out.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, see you later.
I guess it is on the registry, the historic building registry in Salt Lake City.
Hello, 1019 The End. Who's this?
Oh, this is Gary.
Gary, what's your question for the ghost investigators?
I'm just wondering, what measures do they take to make sure that their equipment isn't producing artifacts that, what do they do to kind of iron out their baseline?
Right. A lot of times what we do is take base readings for one when we go into a place. This is talking about like EMF and all that. So if we see fluctuations that might lead us to something, certainly it doesn't mean that, there's a ghost or anything else there. It's just one other little piece that might lead to something else. As far as recording goes, we don't use anything wireless. I don't trust wireless at all. There's too much of
stuff floating through the air that can
exactly, and a lot of times you will see interference come in, that kind of thing. Really that's it. We just try to keep as controlled an environment as we can. Any place we go, we keep everything locked.
Well, and that's why you don't invite a whole bunch of people to come with you.
Exactly. Right.
We did take people with us last year, but we went to This Is the Place, and This Is the Place is so huge that we all split up and went to different areas.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. We got a lot of stuff out of there. A lot of creepy stuff happening.
When we went back, we got some fantastic things that took place.
I was out of town when you guys went back. I wanted to go back with you guys, and that's when you really got a bunch of stuff.
We had Barry had an experience that just really kind of freaked him out.
Did it really?
Yeah.
And he's the one that always says he wants to get levitated or have these things
what
happen on the
to
show.
him?
He was in, I can't remember what the house was. It was kind of a little creepy house across from the church.
Yeah, right. That's the house that they say that they have a lot of problems in.
Right, that one. The one that,
the sewing machine started working with no plug.
No plug, and that one. Mm-hmm. Well, he wanted to go in that house and be in that house. And I was going to go on down to Brigham Young's wife's house. Mm-hmm. And I was out on the street. Barry had set up all his stuff inside the house. And I said, Barry, you all right in there on the walkie-talkie? I says, are you okay? And he says, yeah. And I said, I'm heading down to Brigham Young's house now. And all of a sudden, I heard this bang come through on the walkie-talkie, and he hollered back at me, Barbara, get in here. Something's going on. He wouldn't stay in there after that by himself.
That's the house where all the bad stuff happens.
Yeah, where they can smell urine upstairs.
You can smell the pee upstairs. Yeah. And that's the house that had the picture of the guy, and it had all of his wives in a circle pattern around his picture.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I have video of this. I should put it online. I have video of this, me filming that picture, and you can't see any of the wives.
Just him?
Just him. On the video.
Oh, wow. Like they just don't appear.
They're not there.
Wow.
It's just blank.
That one has the really creepy attic, right?
Yeah. That's the attic where we left everything.
Yeah, I went up in there.
And that's the house that there's a sewing machine down on the main floor where the polygamist wives would do a lot of their work. And I remember grabbing the cord and saying, is this thing plugged in? And the electrical cord is frayed on the end of it. It's not plugged into anything.
Right.
And as I'm filming this picture, and I'm saying, hey, something's not right here because the wives aren't showing up, and the man in the picture just looks angry, and then the sewing machine starts running on its own. So I was out of there like quick. So we've had some very bizarre things happen.
He said that the sounded like a large marble or something bouncing across the floor, and he says as soon as I opened the door to walk in, it all stopped.
And so he won't go in there anymore.
He didn't want us to. He came down to Brigham Young's house with me.
That's not a fun building. Not a fun building at all. Let's play an EVP. What do you say before we head into our break here? Now this is number 2 here, Barbara. Why don't you set this up for us?
This was also in the mausoleum, and we had a person with us that hadn't been in there before, and we're going downstairs, and you can hear me say, "Watch your step here," and
there's some sort of noise.
Well, it sounds like a man's voice that says, go. He sounded, from what it sounds like is he's downstairs telling us to go.
All right, here we go.
Watch your step here.
Oh.
Now again, you didn't hear that until you went back and listened to your tapes.
That's correct.
No, and the interesting
you don't hear
thing,
them at the time that
yeah, but listen, you can hear the echo.
Yeah.
I mean, his voice is echoing also.
Right.
So you would think, I
and nobody was downstairs yet.
Right, right. And see, the one that where Heber C. Kimball's wife yelled at our winner and the curator of This Is the Place and myself, none of that showed up on tape, but was completely audible. Extremely audible.
To all three of you.
We've had had things like that happen where things should have been recorded that we all physically heard and didn't record.
And for those of you that want to go to This Is the Place when it's open, it was in the Heber C. Kimball house right outside the nursery. Mm-hmm. And that's where it happened. And sent us all cruising out the front door. Let's play another EVP. This is number 3.
All right, now we've played this a couple of times on the show, and I did it because somebody was saying, "Oh, you've got to play this clip on the show," so I put it on here. Barbara loves it, and I'm just not so much.
You fall down the stairs.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it.
And then you fall down the stairs and you swear or something like that.
Yeah,
he contains himself. I was really amazed how well he contained him.
Because I can let loose like a trucker, but
All right.
I did good.
Here we go. Let's just what is the person? It's a woman. You said.
Yeah. After you hear me fall, it'll sound like a woman says, "Are you okay?"
All right. Here we go.
Damn it!
Oh man!
Wow!
That's that one I just love, just because.
It's kind of caring
of the concern in her voice.
Well, and it's specific to what just happened. It's not like some random thing.
It's an interaction,
Yeah.
And Barbara, you're lying about that's why you love it. Because you made me replay just the part of me falling down the stairs. I don't know how many times after we recorded that.
Oh, it's pretty funny. I mean, you weren't hurt, you know.
Yeah. Now this is the first of 2 Ghost Investigator shows that we're going to do with you guys. We're going to talk about how you can become a temporary member of the Ghost Investigator Society and come with us on one of these investigations, and how serious you need to take this and what to expect and things like that coming up. Plus, we've got more EVPs on the way.
Right.
And more of your calls. So 470-570-670-1019. Those are the numbers to call if you would like to ask how to investigate a ghost inside your house, which you recommend people do.
Well, if they believe that they have one, yes. I there's nothing harmed.
The Chunga Show. Morning 6 to 10. Only on 101.9. The End. 101.9 The End. It's the Chunga Show.
101.9 The End. It's the Chunga Show. Sorry about that. So we've got with us here our ghost investigators, Barbara Macbeth, Brendan Cook, and we're just talking about different haunted places around the state that are known for a lot of activity. The Capitol Theater, Lagoon. Let's see, where else? The Ben Lomond Hotel up in Ogden.
Yeah, that's out though because the new owners won't let us.
They won't let you in there.
Yeah, they're
the Murray Theater on State Street is known to be pretty haunted.
The Rio Grande.
The Rio Grande
would be a great one to get into.
Yeah. So we're going to try and figure out a good place to take some a winner and a guest.
Right.
Just 2 people on our ghost investigation.
Yeah. Maybe 3 with Travis.
Well, Travis has got to come with us because we've already granted him passage.
Right.
So, and he's very excited and has already told us several times how seriously he's going to take this whole thing. Good. And how ready he is to do this, because obviously you guys are very serious when you go in and do this kind of stuff, except for that time that me and Brendan scared Court with a train whistle.
Yeah, well,
jerks.
I've never seen a man come. It was like Looney Tunes when something happens to Sylvester and you see him turn complete, like the color level literally drops.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happened.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happened to Court.
Well, but you had to. I mean, fortunately, you get the chance to do it.
And it was at the end of the. It was at the end of the night. We were wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you guys would have totally screwed that whole investigation.
Yeah,
up.
we would have ruined it. Absolutely. So we're taking your calls 470-570-670-1019. The ghost investigators are here till 10. So get everybody around the cubicle there at work, and we've got more EVPs coming up.
Have you been to my job?
I've not been.
He said cubicle.
Cubicles.
I think she just described pretty much every job.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the phones here. Hello, 101.9 The End. Who's this?
Hey, it's Ian. How you doing?
Ian, King of the Britons. We're very good, King of Britain.
King.
Ian, what's your question for the ghost investigators, mate?
Okay. Well, I watch TV. I see a certain group of ghost hunters use the K2 milligauss meter for contacting and communicating with paranormal spirits, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually got one, but I'm buying one. I've got one on its way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they really work? They are really picking up on a ghost's ability to manipulate a magnetic field as it's creating, or do you think it's just more power of positive thinking on your part, like your minds are so concentrating on it and wanting something to occur, it's actually your own mind that's causing this occurrence, with the lights flashing, etc., causing the response?
Well, and honestly, this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Basically, for those that don't know, a K2 meter is kind of a stripped down EMF detector.
Yeah.
It goes, flashes lights.
Is it a lower end? Is it a cheaper version of an EMF?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, compared to what you can get, yes.
Yeah.
And basically,
how much do one of these things run?
I can easily find them $20-$30.
Is that right, Ian? That's about what you paid?
There's one available from Amazon that's $13. Then there's one you can get on eBay at $45.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you can get them.
The one is exactly the same one as they use on TV.
Yeah, you can get them fairly cheap. Basically, what they're used for now is not only to detect EMFs, but they are now a modern day Ouija board.
Yeah.
Because people believe that they'll ask questions, the lights will beep once for yes, twice for no, whatever, But like I was saying, there's been a lot of research into them by skeptic groups. Skeptics Dictionary is one of the biggest ones that did it. And they are so easily manipulated now that, I mean, they're basically, you might as well just bring a psychic. Okay. I mean, that's,
okay.
That's about how much proof you'll have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But so it may work, it may not work.
Yeah, exactly. And, it gets into the old thing where you're using the paranormal to prove the paranormal. You're using, a modern Ouija board to do it, or a psychic, or, yeah.
No, what my wife said about the K2 meter. She said it's a bit like a Ouija board, and she thinks the Ouija board is the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mind's controlling what response you get.
Exactly.
Now a regular EMF detector. What's the difference? They're considerably more expensive.
Oh yeah, you can actually measure the milligauss. That's the difference. The K2 only shows you the lights, and that's it.
You guys don't use an EMF detector?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, you do use an EMF?
We use an actual milligauss detector. Yeah.
I bought one of those as well.
Yeah,
right.
that's
the one you'd really want to go with.
I have not seen you guys use this on the investigations.
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, I think I have seen Barry pull that out. I think he actually was using it in the Union Station.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's normally the one that uses it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right. He'll walk around and get readings.
Let's take another call here. Hello, 1019 The End. Who's this?
Hi, this is Emily.
Emily, what's your question?
Well, I wanted to know if they've ever checked out if they've ever heard about the medical school down on Riverfront Parkway in South Jordan.
No.
Okay, my boyfriend was janitoring there last year, and the janitor company doesn't clean that building anymore, but I could get the name of the company because we know who the owner and his manager are.
Yeah.
And they have been, there's a guy, it's a medical school where they teach like stuff that involves cadavers, and they do autopsies and teaching and that kind of stuff.
That would be a location, yeah.
Yeah, will you send us the information? Email it to us.
Yeah.
Okay, is the email on the website?
Yep. Email it to court.
Yep,
okay, there's this guy who comes in at like 3 at night when they're doing stuff and has actively yelled at them. They've seen him and he's yelled at them.
Wow.
For making noise. And he shut an elevator on one other guy, and tons of their employees end up
And you say you know the owner? You say you know the owners of the building?
No, not the owners of the building, but the owner of the janitor company.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
Who was cleaning there.
We always get permission to go into locations.
We got to get permission, and
that's one of the toughest things to do is get permission.
Easy. Not easy at all. All right, baby. Thanks for calling. If somebody wants to perform a ghost investigation in their house, they can do it with the most simple of tools, right?
Exactly. Yep.
How do they do it?
Just anything that can record sound, you can use to record EVP. You
can use a tape recorder.
A lot of people, they have mics built into their computer. They'll use that.
Really?
I mean, it's obviously not the most controlled circumstances or anything like that, but if nothing else, I mean, it gets you doing it. You can actually ask questions. If you hear, a kid behind you and you don't have children, then obviously you probably got something.
When you guys get these EVPs, you're not manipulating this tape in any way.
No.
Right?
No.
Actually, the only thing we do, and we don't have to do it so much anymore, this was back in the old analog days, is remove, obviously the background hiss, all that stuff, motor noise. But no, I mean, there's no slowing down, reversing. A lot of people, go, oh, well, if I reverse this, I can hear what's called reverse speech, which is supposed to be the language of the soul. But then again, you're getting into using the paranormal to prove the paranormal, because reverse speech obviously isn't actual science. So
Right. Now, if you're using a tape, like a conventional old school tape, you want to make sure that you're using one that's brand new.
Absolutely.
A new tape.
So that you're not getting any residual.
Earphones to review the tape after you've recorded.
Because it needs to be quiet so that you can hear what
so you don't want all the kids in the house playing, make arrangements for them to be to grandma's or something.
And don't be afraid to talk to the ghost.
Well, it's just like when we go out on an investigation. As soon as we get to the location that we're going to investigate, I will turn on my tape recorder because I have found that they will get into the car with us.
Yeah, which is one of those things that you have to be careful of when you're a ghost investigator, right? You have to tell them not to follow you home. Right. Don't follow you into the car.
And I think the ones that do, they're kind of transient in nature anyway. So
you've had ghosts follow you home?
Yes.
And that became kind of a problem for you, did it not, Barbara, at one point?
No.
Not for Barbara.
It was a question of my husband having a problem.
Roger had a problem with it.
Yes, but I think they were kind of transient, kind of snoopy, and they left.
All right.
Okay.
The Chunga Show. Morning 6 to 10. Only on 101.9. The End.